was doing well. I was reminiscing about elementary school. And most of the memories I have about elementary school are good. Some are not, and I'll share some of those with you. But this particular memory brings me back to 1970. Yes, I was in the second grade, and my teacher name was Miss Donovan, and I love me some Miss Donovan. Let me tell you why I love me some Miss Donovan. Miss Donovan was a single mom. She used to bring her son to class. I forgot what his name was. Very cute little boy. He's probably a little younger than we were. And she was this beautiful, beautiful black woman. Beautiful. And she was the epitome of any and everything that you would expect in a second grade teacher. Miss Donovan was the epitome of that. So I loved her so much. Beauty queen, just everything. So one day she came to us and she said, "Class, we are going to have pen pals." So some of you might not know what a pen pal is. Think of prison system. Sometimes prisons, they allow the prisoners to have pen pals, which is a little weird to me because you doing life, I'm not writing you nothing. So the whole pen pal thing, you exchange letters with your pen pal, and sometimes you get to meet your pen pals, sometimes not. But in our case, we were going to meet our pen pals. So Miss Donovan, I think the school, because my school was in Central Harlem, and the other school was in, I want to say, East Harlem. So we were going to write letters back and forth in our second grade way. You know, what do I know? Do I have life experience at 7 years old or 8 years old? No, I do not. So we were going to know, we weren't going to know what our pen pals look like. She was saving the best for last. Yikes. All I knew was that my pen pals, his name was Robert, right? And I didn't really want a boy pen pal. I really wanted a girl pen pal, truth be told, because second grade boys are obnoxious. Emphasis on the noxious. So anyway, I didn't have a choice. So my pen pal, his name was Robert, and we exchanged letters for a few months, and then Miss Donovan said that we were going to meet our pen pals. So we were excited. So the plan was that, because we started writing them like in October maybe, and then we met them maybe like April, May, somewhere in there. The plan was that they were going to come to us, and we brought them lunch, nice little brown paper bag lunch, and they were going to give us a little tchotchke, a little gift or whatever, you know, something that second graders would exchange. So I told my mother, you know, that we were going to be meeting our pen pals, and she didn't particularly seem overly excited, but that's neither here nor there. She went all out though, okay? She could make a mean bologna sandwich, bologna and cheese, bologna and cheese, for those of you that's acting like you don't know what bologna is. Soda, chips, and I was such a weirdo when I was in elementary school. Like, I liked Fresca. Do not ask me why. Fresca is some like lemon lime. Is it diet? I recently had a Fresca just to bring back old memories. And it didn't taste quite the same as I remember, but maybe I'm not remembering it correctly, so there's that. But I was such a weirdo. Like, I liked Fresca. I also liked cream soda. Well, a lot of my classmates, orange, grape, right? Or from my really, really smart classmates, what flavor do you like? I like purple. Purple's not a flavor. The flavor is grape. So it was a beautiful spring day, and we went to the park to meet our pen pals. And the park that we met them at was right behind the world famous Rucker playground. If you know, you know. We get to I have to laugh to keep from crying, don't judge me. So we get to the playground, and they were already there. And I had my lunch bag, I'm clutching it like this. Not sure if I want to share my bologna sandwich, because at that time I could inhale 2 sandwiches in whatever. So I didn't know what Robert looked like, right? Like I mentioned, because we didn't know. There were no pictures exchanged or anything. Because I think she knew how shady some of us could be, and by some of us, that would be me. So I'm scoping out the boys, right? And I'm looking. I'm like, and my eyes land on this cute boy who he had a fro. It was a nice fro, right? It wasn't like a fro that was all jacked up. And I was like, look at here. Maybe this is Roberto. He had on a cute sweater, with low pants. Maybe it wasn't a sweater because it was spring. Maybe, Lord, is this integral to the story? If not, keep it moving. So, in my mind, this is Robert. I could check all the boxes that's important to a second grader. He was cute. His afro was on point. And, he was cute to me in my second grade eyes. So I'm thinking to myself, this better be Robert. Because if it's not Robert, me and Mrs. Donovan, we're going to have a problem. I'm not erasing the board anymore. I'm not cleaning her erasers. I'm not helping to give out any papers in class. Don't betray me, Mrs. D. So we had our name tags on. Hi, my name is. So I'm walking around and I'm looking, see if I see, and I just felt like I couldn't get close enough because the rest of my classmates were chomping at the bit to get to their pen pal. So I'm kind of walking around, and we had to mix and mingle on purpose, whatever. And I have already decided that this is Robert. And so I roll up next to him, and I look at his name tag, and lo and behold, not Roberto, not Robert. I was devastated. His name tag said Ronald. No, it can't be. He smiled at me, and I mouthed to Ronald, he proceeded to walk towards my second grade archnemesis, and her name was Patricia. More about Patricia later. I couldn't stand Patricia. Patricia was one of those girls, right? You know, we all lived in the projects, so don't be trying to, act like you better than girl, because we all lived in the projects. But her parents, they had pretty decent blue-collar jobs. So did my dad. My mother was a stay-at-home mom for many, many years, but her parents were pretty prominent in the neighborhood. And she was cute. She was alright, and she had siblings and whatnot. Her father drove like a Cadillac. At that time, my father was not driving a Cadillac. He had a Grand Prix, burgundy with black rooftop. And so, her family was kind of fly, and they would go on like these little trips, and she would come back, and she always had to wow us with the fact that, oh, we went to the state fair, we went to whatever amusement park was like, all the rage then. So, okay, whatever. So she's over there with my fiance, Roberto. And so I look over at her, and she looks over at me, and she smirked, because she always thought she was all that in a bag of chips. And I probably gave her the finger, I wanted to curse her out, but I wasn't cursing yet publicly. Like, I was cursing privately. Me and my friends, we would get together and we would like curse, but I wasn't cursing out loud, and I certainly didn't want Mrs. Donovan to hear me curse. So people were going off in pairs, and there were 2 boys left, and I looked over at one, and he was okay, and then I looked over at the other one, and I was like, hell to the no. That is not my pen pal. No, not having it. He had a face only a mother could love. And before y'all judge me, because people will judge, I was in the 2nd grade. I was 7 years old, 8 years old, maybe 8. And that was Robert, y'all. That was Robert. Yeah. So, I'm standing there froze in my tracks, because I'm thinking, now if Ms. Donovan think that I'm going to go over there and kick it with him, we weren't saying kick it back then. I'm using current terminology. But if she thought that I was going to go over there and have a conversation with him, she was sadly mistaken. All of a sudden, my stomach hurt. My stomach hurt. I couldn't say, I think my period's coming, because I was only 8, right? And back then, no. So here comes Donovan, all smiles, perfect hair, perfect teeth. And I really hated her in that moment. And she says, oh, Lori, I see you found your pen pal. And I'm like, okay. The teacher, student, awe that I have for you, it's done. Miss Donovan, it's done. Okay, you ruined it. So, Robert and I go to sit down at the urging of Miss Donovan because I did not want to go sit down over there with him. And, you know, he's looking at me. He's probably hungry. I have the bologna sandwiches in my bag. Don't forget about that. Now, as an adult, I can say his letters were very well written, good use of grammar and syntax, punctuation. He was quite witty. And on paper, Robert was marriage material. We sat down. He gave me my little gift. I gave him the brown paper bag lunch. Reluctantly, I wanted to go. But that would have been whack, right? I didn't do that. So it was a little pencil. It was a pencil with like one of those little furry animals on the eraser thing. It was cute. It was cute. So we chatted. I don't know what we talked about. I have no idea. All I knew was that I could not wait for it to be over. I feel bad. Roberto, if you're out there, I apologize. I humbly apologize. And I hope that you went on to find the love of your life, and I hope that you did well. I really, really do. So we say our goodbyes, and we head back to our school. They get on the cheese bus and they go back to wherever they came from. And of course, as trifling second graders sometimes do, my archnemesis Patricia and her minions, she say jump, they say how high. She like had them on strings like they was puppets, all of them. I couldn't stand them. So of course she's now going to terrorize me, and they're laughing and they're like, oh, Lori's pen pal, did you see what he looked like? And they was making faces. They was like, they was making all kinds of faces, and they thought it was funny. They were keying. Key to the key. So I was like, okay. Very good. Fast forward. We in our 20s. It was the start of the crack cocaine epidemic. And guess who got all caught up in the bullshit? Yes, my arch nemesis. Once again, before you judge, because you know how some folks is, I was tight. She terrorized me all the way to 6th grade. From 1st grade to 6th grade, she terrorized me. So, as far as I was concerned, and when we're in our 20s, our brains are still not all fully developed. And so, as far as I was concerned, I was like, whatever. She got caught up. Now, she got herself together. She went to rehab. She did all the things. She is doing well. I'm still loosely connected with people that we all knew back then on social media, and she looks good and all of that, but don't play with me. Don't play with yeah. I'm certain that some of the horrible encounters / entanglements that I have had with the male species was karma coming back at me because I was not nice to Robert. But I made amends, and that's all she wrote. So don't be judging me, okay? Oh Lord, I tell you, to be 7 years old, memories. I'm gonna talk to y'all later, okay? Not that close to me.
Well, let's go walk where the white people walking.